All right, let's talk through how we're going to start writing your poem. So at this point, you have chosen what kind you want to do, fiction, nonfiction, what mood you want to create, what story you want to tell, right? You've chosen that. So now you have to start thinking through, how does this line up on a plot line, just like a short story. So let's look at Casey at the bat. And let's start with the exposition. You'll notice that the exposition for Casey at the Bat took two stanzas to do, two quatrains that each have 4 lines each. And we are automatically in that very first line told where it happens. It's in Mudville. We know it's a baseball game, that's the setting. And we know the problem, that the score stood 4-2 with but one more inning left to play. And then when they get up, Cooney dies at first, and then Barrows did. So we've got 2 outs, and we are at the bottom. Here we go. Here's our problem. And we're even let into what the audience is thinking, that they think, oh, if only Casey could get up to bat and he could hit it, then we would have a chance. And so that's when we're introduced to our main character, is Casey. So in those first 2 stanzas, we have our exposition. We've got the conflict, we've got the characters, we've got the setting, everything is there. So that's what you've got to think through. When you go to write your exposition, it should be written in 1 to 2 stanzas. And I am looking for those quatrains. And remember your rhyme scheme, okay? A, B, B. So day, play, same game. You can do it differently, right? We've got A, B, C, B, and you've got A, B, A, B. Those are the 3 I'd like you to stick with, because those are just the most common and they just kind of are the easiest to flow. So I'm okay with any of those rhyme schemes that you choose. So that's your exposition. After exposition is rising action. And I couldn't just copy down the different stanzas from Casey at the Bat and then put them into one slide, because the rising action takes so much time. Remember, that's when you build and you build and you build to create that climax that you want for your story. So it should be several stanzas long. So I just kind of narrowed it down to the really obvious rising actions here. Well, the 2 bad players get on base after the exposition, and everybody is surprised. Casey gets up to bat, and everyone thinks he'll win the game. The crowd is cheering. And then we see Casey's arrogance come into play. This is where we see his personality. He lets 2 balls go by. Nope, that's not my style, right? And he lets the 2 balls go by. We have 2 strikes against him. That is all of our rising action, and it is many, many stanzas. So that's what you are required to do for this week, for this part of your poem. And then next week, we will work on the climax, the falling action, and the resolution, because remember, they happen really quickly. It might end up being about the same amount of stanzas, even though there's 3 parts you're doing there. So you will move on to your next slide, and you'll go into Google Classroom, and it will give you the directions on how you're going to set all of this up.